Welcome back to the Trendcrusher podcast. I'm PDK, aka Trendcrusher. The next couple of episodes are very special because they're with bands performing at the NH7 Weekender, which is, if you're listening to this on the 24th of November, a week from now, on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of December. The first band I'm speaking to is Bear. The Belgian metal act will be performing back in India after 5 years. And in 2018, when they came down to India, their show in Bombay, Mumbai was one of the highlights of the year for me. And I kind of spoke about it on the Horns Up roundup that we had done in 2018. I managed to have a chat with the entire band while they were rehearsing for their shows for India, and we spoke about their tour in 2018, their latest album, Vanta, which is out now on Pelagic Records, their entire experience, and of course, the NH7 Weekender, which they're performing at. So, all that and more in my chat. Here it is. Hey guys, welcome to the podcast.
Hi,
Hello.
happy to be here.
Okay, now, like I just kind of said before we hit record, this is audio only. And in a unique situation, in I think the second time only, I've got three-fourth of a band sitting in one room. So why don't you introduce yourselves one by one so our listeners know whose voice they're listening to? So go ahead.
I am Martin. I'm the singer of Bear.
I'm James. I play the six-string instrument in Bear.
And I'm Dries. I play a bass in Bear. And yeah, we missed out on Serge, our drummer, who couldn't be here. He's still on his way.
Yeah, he's stuck in traffic.
Yeah, stuck in traffic.
Damn it, traffic.
He's here in
Yeah.
spirit.
But first of all, guys, really excited that we managed to do this interview, catch each other across the world, and I'm particularly excited because in a couple of weeks, you guys, and please forgive me because I keep going to do this, wreck things at NH7 Weekender in Pune. So, first reactions: how does it feel across the room to be coming back to India again?
Man, we're so excited. We've been dreaming about coming back to India for ever since we left. Yeah,
We actually never thought it was going to happen again.
exactly.
But,
Yeah, we were really sort of hoping that would be a possibility to come back and to be able to play the NH7 Weekender is a dream come true, to be honest, because not only is it a return for us, but it's probably one of the biggest shows we played in quite a long time.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
I think it became so much of a dream. It still kind of feels unreal right now.
Yeah.
Like when people ask, "Yeah, are you guys going to India again?" So like, yeah, it's like it still feels unreal. I think until I'm on the plane, or maybe when I'm in Mumbai, when we leave the plane, I think only then we're gonna believe, oh yeah, it's really happening. So yeah, we're really, really excited.
absolutely.
And one of the things I'm particularly excited about is the fact that you're playing at the Weekender. In coincidentally, actually, I used to work at NH7 like a decade ago, and yeah, so like
Really?
the whole Facebook memories thing. So 10 years
Yeah.
ago, actually, Carnival played, and there's a picture that's kind of pulled
Right.
up of
Yeah.
Carnival with all of us at the team that kind of worked at Weekender back then, which I think is really cool. Like it's just a memory I look back very
Yeah, it's
fondly.
really
Yeah.
But when it comes to you guys, I mean, one fond memory I have is the fact that you guys completely laid to waste above the habitat 5 years ago. And the cool part about it was, if I'm not mistaken, what month was it? Because I'm fuzzy. Because
April.
April. Yeah.
Was the beginning of
Yeah,
April.
yeah, so it was like hot also, all over and muggy, and then you guys kind of played there. And James, I just want you, because you kind of brought this up, what would take us back, or at least all of you, what was that memory back for you? Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mumbai was the first date on that tour, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was the first one, and going into it, I think none of us really expected. Well, to be very, very honest, we didn't really expect very much because we were kind of we just arrived and we were kind of thinking like, how on earth could anybody here know about who we are, let alone be interested in what we're doing? Um, and next thing we know we're playing this venue in front of all these crazy people going absolutely nuts,
Yeah, knowing the lyrics,
knowing the lyrics.
even better than the two of us. It was crazy to see that. And I think we went in with no expectations, kind of to protect ourselves. Like, if you have low expectations, then it can only be okay or good. But if we enter with high expectations, then we're going to be disappointed really easily. So I think it was kind of like trying to, yeah,
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah,
And
let's start the show and see what happens.
exactly. And
Yeah.
it was our first time playing outside of Europe as well. So to have people so enthusiastic and really sort of get what we were doing and what we were trying to yeah trying to do, it was extremely humbling. I mean, that show, I think, the whole tour was incredible from start to finish, but that show in particular really brought up something for us, the sort of feeling of like, wow, we never saw this coming.
and that's kind of what you were doing it for. Like,
Yeah,
the response of the audience back then, I can still remember people keeping on screaming in between songs, and like really relate to what we were doing, which was, we in the back of your mind you always hope for the best, but this was like, this was way better.
Yeah, way better.
That was like, we were completely amazed by the response back then. It was like, oh shit, we didn't believe this was possible.
Yeah, we as a band, we play a shitload of shows, and a lot of the shows, most of the shows are really cool, but only a few of them were like really awesome. And the first show in Mumbai was one of them, definitely for all of us. I think.
absolutely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, so I'm kind of lucky that I managed to catch y'all on the first date. But let's fast forward like 5 years to kind of almost present day, right? Where you'll released your fifth album, Vanta, not too long ago. And I was particularly kicked to kind of know that you'll have new music out. But it's also been like very strange last 2 3 years generally for all of us in the world, but particularly in the band. I mean, one sentence that kind of encapsulate very well the entire mood of the album, and I'm going to quote what I read, where it says that Vanta orbits around the mundane horrors that pervade everyday life. It is metal as fuck, I must say, just like reading that one sentence. But also, there's a lot happening on Vanta that's a slightly different, also compared to the previous music. So let's just start off from the beginning itself, right? From, and if I'm not mistaken, your last album was Propaganda. Break it down, like what's that journey been like from Propaganda to Vanta?
Well, so yeah, we finished wrapping. I think we wrapped up recording for Propaganda at the end of 2019. If I remember correctly, I think it was 2019. Right?
So I think then the recording process was completely done.
I think so shortly after that was done, I kind of got the news that I'd been diagnosed with cancer, and it was pretty. It wasn't looking good. Had to sort of start with. Had to start with. I had to have like a major surgery, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, everything, pretty quickly after recording finished. And I spent the first sort of few months of 2020 recovering from all that, really. And then we were getting into gear to release Propaganda, and we were all really motivated to kind of finally be able to play again and play those new songs live. And then COVID hit, and thing is, yeah, the record was already scheduled to be released, so pushing back the release wasn't an option. Even though I think that's something we would have preferred to have done. And yeah, I mean that period left us in a bit of a weird spots as a band, but also personally as well. I think we'd all worked really, really hard on the record. It was my first record with the band as well, and we'd all been, we were very, very proud of what we'd achieved together, and to know that the record was probably not going to really, um, reach a very large audience thanks to COVID, was a bit of a bummer. Um, and I think that there was a lot of negativity in general at that time. I think that the nobody was in a particularly good space back then. I think just because there was so much uncertainty about whether we would be able to perform again, whether playing shows would be the same again. I mean, there was nobody knew anything. But what we decided to do, rather than kind of let that get to us too much, is that we really tried to pull together and start writing for the next record.
Yep.
Yep.
Um,
Exactly.
which was interesting, especially after just having finished the previous records and not being able to tour it. It was a challenge. But the thing is that because we had all that time, I mean, I think that we started writing for Vanta, I think must have been the beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
Or like midway through 2020,
I
something like
think
that.
that was the end of the chemotherapy.
Yeah.
So I don't think we rehearsed that much, but like at a certain point, it became clear that with Propaganda, we weren't able to go out and play and support that album as much as we'd love to. And like, yeah, the four of us, we always tried to get together. So we just kept on rehearsing, but then not for, we weren't preparing for shows, but just like keep on writing. This, like, the band is something we really, really love to do. And we really need it as an outlet. So yeah, I think Propaganda got released and we got pretty good reviews in, and we were all really excited. And then it was like, yeah, but we're not going to play all summer.
And
So
nothing happens.
yeah, nothing happened. Yeah, we played a live stream, which sucks.
Gigantic anticlimax, basically.
So
That wasn't so bad.
we just started writing, and maybe that's a good thing because we're also um, pretty critical about the music we write, and we often abandon full songs when we're not really completely happy with them. So yeah, maybe in the end it kind of helped us to make Vanta to make the album it is today.
I do think that thanks to the fact that we had all this time, we spent a lot of time being experimental and kind of just working on things that we wouldn't necessarily have put our attention to. And as a result, we came up with songs or ideas that were, I think, a lot more. I don't know. They had a lot more sort of. Dynamics is the word I'm looking for. Sort of the dynamics of the songs were a lot more fleshed out. And on top of that, we also had a lot of frustration and anger about the way the things were going in the world in general, and not just COVID, but also just the state of mankind as a whole. The fact that people are just really apathetic and just, we don't live in good times right now. People are not focused on the right things. That's for sure. But that definitely had an effect. And then there was obviously the worry and the sort of sadness about my own situation and how that would pertain to the future of the band and all that stuff. It all culminated into this record that I don't think we've ever poured more of ourselves into something, really.
No, that's also because we had a different approach on the writing of the album. It's like, I think we all poured in a few of our ideas in this album, while the other albums were mainly two people for the majority
Writing the music.
of the songs
Mhm.
of the or the music that were responsible for that. But now it's like more of a group effort
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
that we
very
did.
collaborative. This record, especially,
Yeah,
was really the four of us in a room, just trying out, literally throwing shit against the wall. Not no, not literally. Sorry, I should have. No, not literally, but figuratively, throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks. Um,
shit will stick probably.
and yeah, it resulted in something quite special because it wasn't just, for example, I would come with the basic skeletons of song ideas, but then every guy in the band, especially Serge, would come with riff ideas that I would have never thought of, and structuring ideas that kind of resulted in these really sort of very odd
Yeah.
songs
When we
that
started to deconstruct riffs, James came to us with, and then like, yeah, keep that part, but maybe change that part, and
Mhm.
then Serge had an ID, then maybe Martin had an ID, then I had an ID. So we really worked around that. Whereas I think before 70% of the songs were already finished when James came into the room. Whereas now James sometimes he just had an ID in the room, and then we worked from there. And we equipped our room with a actually it's a small recording studio right now, so we can really record every ID. We send it to each other, we take it home, we work on it, we come back. So it was more like of a constant flow. Even when we were not in the rehearsal room, James and I were working on those ideas back home, and then bring it back. And yeah, never, yeah, anything was possible really. There was no um yeah, I'd say that there was like
No
no
boundaries.
yeah, no boundaries, no guidelines of, yeah, it has to be this or this. Like anything was possible as long as the four of us who feel it, we would do it.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm pretty proud of what we managed to pull off. So yeah, I'm really happy with the end result.
Yeah, first of all, thanks so much for sharing that, James, because I mean, when I look back also at the last 2, 3 years, it's really hard to kind of articulate and come through. So thanks so much for sharing that. But also thanks for kind of peeling back that curtain, right? And kind of sharing the dynamic, how that kind of changed in the band itself, and how Vanta is, for lack of a better word, a beast of its own, right?
Mhm. Yeah, it's the thing is, I mean, music like this the whole point of it is to be genuine, right? I mean, at least for me, when I approach this kind of music, the whole reason why I was drawn to it in the first place is it's direct, honest, and often unflinching in what it's trying to convey. And for me, it's a very important thing. I'm not a very good I'm not very good at hiding how I feel. That's could see that as a flaw or a trait. I don't know. But when it comes to when it comes to my personal struggles and stuff like that, the whole reason we play in this band, not the whole reason, but one of the biggest reasons is that we are trying to exercise our inner demons, that we're trying to let out that that negativity that we have in our lives. And this band is it means so much to me because I have that outlet. I've been through a very, very difficult time, but because I have this band, I'm able to let that out and let out what I've been feeling over the last
And
few
that
years.
became apparent during the lockdowns.
Yeah.
Like there was this certain periods we weren't allowed to leave our houses, just only for shopping or whatever. And from the moment we were allowed to leave our houses, like then even bars were still closed, pubs, restaurants. There was no cinema. There was literally nothing else to do than maybe work and sit at home. But when we were able, we just got together with the four of us into the rehearsal room and just like, yeah, just went at it. Like it also felt like he was going through that really hard time, which was also hard on us. Like seeing one of your best friends going through hard times, that's like you're standing on a sideline. Like you see him suffer, you see him in pain, and there's literally not much you can do, then yeah, sorry buddy, if there's something, tell me, we're here for you. But like, it's,
Yeah, we're no doctors.
yeah,
We can't cure anything.
but yeah, but even then, like we don't feel, you see him in pain, but you don't feel the pain yourself, and that's also a really unsettling experience. um and then even when it wasn't looking good, we were still in the room with the four of us together, trying to write music, even if it was uncertain that maybe we were ever able to record it or even play it live. But it was just the thing that the four of us, like, it's what connects us, what we kind of need, like what he said. And at that point it became apparent, like, yeah, this is something we all love doing, it's something we need to do. And from the moment it was possible, it was like, it was a little glimpse of light at the end of the tunnel you need to go through hard times. And yeah, I think that's kind of what Vanta represents. And it's a different kind of suffering for me than what James had to go through. But in the end, I think that's the main idea. And I think that also represents in the lyrics. I think everybody can find something to connect to, because we've all been there. And if it's not for us, then it's with other people, or people you know, or family or friends. So I think there is something for everybody to relate to.
Okay, I think we've kind of just slowly started peeling the onion around Vanta. Uh, why don't we
So
give?
much to say.
Yeah, true. That's true, right? Why don't we give our listeners a taste of Vanta? So tell me about that dynamic that you all talked about, right? Which was the first song that you all kind of came up with when you all realized that there's something different on this album that we're doing? You know, you talked about experimenting in the sound. What is the first song that kind of helped you all kind of scratch the surface, for lack of better metaphor?
Well, I think the first song that we sort of fully finished from the record is actually probably the most different song, or the most sort of
Sweet balls.
uniquely not Bear song on the record. It's Repose Beyond Fate. Um, I don't really know how we came up with the initial idea for it, but
We were just trying. And
we were just
kept
trying some. Yeah, we were again throwing shit at the wall and hoping it would stick, kind of thing. Again, not literally. Just need to clarify that. But yeah, it turned out to be this sort of very Deftones inspired. Um,
thing.
yeah, it's quite an optimistic song in many ways. There's a lot of fragility in it that you wouldn't expect from a Bear song. Um,
But it's
and
got real sad lyrics.
yeah, well, that as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's just something that we hadn't really tried before, and funnily enough as well, that the song itself sounds quite simplistic in terms of what's being played and the riffs, but it's actually one of the most challenging songs on the record, I'd say.
Yeah, especially that mid part.
Yeah, it's not easy to play,
No.
actually.
And the funny thing about that song in particular is, like, this is one of the songs that has been, like, we discarded that one. There was one point that we, like, I say, yes, sorry, we can't do anything with this. It's not gonna make the album. So, and after a certain period of time, like a couple of months, we picked it back up, maybe changed the intro a bit, and then the vocals came along, like, pretty nicely then. And then, yeah, it's a song that has been, like, on the album, and then, yeah, not on the album, and then back on. And so it's yeah, it's a special one. Like, I think it stands out from the rest, but also, like, the process of writing that song, it's not a song that has been written in 1 week. It took some serious time, and then we thought it was too much or not our thing. So yeah, it's a special one.
Yeah, and I think it came out very good.
Yeah,
Uh, from the studio.
All right, we're Bear, and this is one of the first songs we worked on the new album. It's called Repose Beyond Fate.
All right, and that was Repose Beyond Fate. I'm here with Bear, and joining us also is their drummer Serge. How's it going, man?
Good. Just came from work, so but it's okay. I get to play, get to do a rehearsal with the band, so it's all good.
Yeah. So one of the things I definitely want to talk more about Vanta, and since you kind of talked about the entire evolution in the sound itself, right? Name dropped Deftones, right? Was there other bands or other kind of sonic references that y'all had while you were either in the rehearsal space or when y'all started recording, or was it that let's just put everything we have into this and then figure out where this is going?
I think that we all, we all have our influences as a band. I mean, it would be lying to say that you know,
That we
we're
don't listen to music.
yeah, well, exactly. There you go. Like we're all music lovers, and we all have our separate tastes, but also our mutual favorites, bands that we all really love, and um, obviously a lot of inspiration comes from those bands because I do think that there is merits to be had for, um, you know, taking a bit of what you love in music and trying to build upon that, if that makes sense. So, sometimes there would be times where Serge, for example, would come in with a riff that he just had in his head that reminded him of a riff from, for example, like a song by Botch, which is a band that we all kind of collectively really love, or, you know, like Serpents in the Rabbit Hole or Serpents on the records was, initially was supposed to be kind of inspired from the Dillinger Escape Plan song, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't turn out anything close to Dillinger Escape Plan song at all. But
Funny thing also, like I think one of the riffs that we came up with,
Yeah.
like together, was like, yeah, this has to have like this kind of shit. Forgot the name of the band, like not ISIS, but
Old Man Gloom.
no, from Sweden or Norway.
Refused.
No. Fuck.
a
Forgot.
So that band then.
I'm
band,
really good at names.
a
yeah.
Swedish band.
Um, we went to,
Estonia.
no, we went to see them together. Like, oh fuck.
I'm really confused now.
Anyway,
Wait,
It'll come,
I'm
I'm
gonna-
sure.
He's going to look up the
Sorry,
bands, and in the meantime, we'll continue
I
talking.
have
But
to see
but
the
as
good one.
as for like the style and sound and all that stuff, I think it's like James said, like the combination that we all have uh, by listening to music for like several decades. It's not really something that it needs to sound like that, but we have like an overall vibe that we would like to have, and it's all like pieces from everywhere actually that we use. So it's not really like, oh, that band sounds really great. We should sound
No,
like Meshuggah. We should sound like this or that. But we all have like, there are probably pieces of sound wise of Meshuggah or Deftones or Dillinger that we have, but it's not really specific. It's
yeah, and I think it's also important to say as well that we were really trying with this record to do something that we collectively enjoyed playing and listening to, because I think it's not a secret that I think have in the past been pigeonholed into a specific genre, especially kind of like the gents, more progressive genre of music, whereas the band that we are now in this day and age isn't really, we have a lot of we obviously are very progressive minded, and we like to create interesting songs with different time signatures and different song structures, but we Cult of Luna, that was the band we were looking for. There you go. We're very much focused on just trying to make music that appeals to us and not trying to pigeonhole ourselves too much anymore, because I think that we earlier on were kind of sort of specifically put in this box of you guys are this kind of bands and you can't really do much else, and that's exactly what we want to kind of prove to people, in the sense that we're more dynamic than that, and we have other tastes that we're trying to explore. And yeah, it's I don't know, we just really want to.
I think there's a few things that always come back. Like,
Yeah,
there is always a certain groove in our songs. Like, we all kind of love the groove, so to speak. We also love like really hectic stuff. So that's always gonna be in there some way somehow. So I think it has to be hard in your face, but that doesn't mean it can be quiet. So, like, for the example with Serpents is a good one, because like it was meant to be like based off on a on a Dillinger Escape Plan song, but then the basic riff idea James and I came up with was like Cult of Luna Minded, which are two bands that are like pretty pretty far away, like different kind of spectrum. But when Serge heard that riff, he heard something different. So and that's kind of how it all blends together. And I think coming from all those different backgrounds, that's how we make a song a bear song.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's interesting that you'll say that, because I kind of remember and I know what you're talking about, right? I mean, I remember Basic Records was at one point like that had every possible. There was like an Indian band also, Sky Harbor, on the label, right? So everyone
Yeah.
kind of had flocked. So obviously, anyone released by Basic is now suddenly a gent band, even though they may not be, right? And it's kind of ironic that even though we're talking about like 10 years ago, I think by 2014, 15, gent became like a four-letter word. No one wanted to call themselves. And now you have Periphery, who are like literally one of the first bands say like gent is not a genre, release an album. So it's kind of just crazy how it's all kind of come back in a way, right? But Martin,
Yeah.
I want you to kind of tell me about what's it like for you once you have all this material in there, right? I mean, how does the entire kind of vocals, the lyrics and all of that, how do you kind of work on that? Or has it always been the same process with you, or with Vanta it was slightly different?
I think with Vanta it was quite drastically different to how we approached it in the past. I mean, before I joined, I think that the majority of music was kind of written by the previous guitar player, and then kind of refined altogether in the band. And it was kind of the same thing when I joined as well with the previous record, Propaganda. I came with sort of the majority of music, and then we kind of refined it together as a band. But with this record, with Vanta, we made it a very, very big point to work on it collectively, the four of us, to each bring our own ideas, because I do believe that every single member of this band has a lot of merit and has a lot of amazing ideas that they can bring that other people might not necessarily think about. So the whole process of writing and recording was very, very collective, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's like the combination of these different styles, these different inputs, that blends together and makes it sound like a Bear album.
Yep.
That's it's just a group effort.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's one word, one kind of way I would surmise the recording and the writing of this record is it's a group effort.
And it's
Very much so.
probably a slow process because I remember like Apollo's Heights from the previous album from Propaganda was a collaborative effort too. It came out of a jam during rehearsal.
Actually, we kind of put together the skeleton of that song while we were on tour in India.
Yeah, we performed Apollo's Heist from the previous record from Propaganda for the first time, I think, in India. If I'm
I think
not
so,
mistaken.
yeah.
Yeah, the first time ever playing that song.
It sounded a little different though.
Yeah,
than-
it was
than,
quite different to how it is now, but yeah, I just think this band really works.
But even with the lyrics and like with vocal lines, like before it was all on Martin, and now it sometimes comes to us like, yeah, I don't really see anything. Do you guys have ideas? So we pitch ideas to each other, like maybe this, maybe that, and yeah, we never really tried that before. And there's even, I think, even stole some vocal texts, like from tryouts James and I were doing. And we were making up lyrics because we didn't really know what the song was going to be about.
Yeah.
And Martin even like misunderstood some parts, but put them into the real lyrics. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk some fun stuff. And I want like responses from everyone, because one thing I was, and I can't remember if I'd heard about this earlier from our mutual friend who actually came and saw you all in Bristol. Uh, you guys released hot sauce as part of your merch. I mean, let's be honest. When you're talking to an Indian about hot sauce, that's practically how I lived in Europe, right? Because of hot sauce. So tell me what, I mean, it'll be just fun to talk about the hot sauce, but I want to be like, okay, and let's go around the room, right? Sky's the limit, no matter what. What's other crazy merch would you all like to release with bear on it? Come on.
There's, the list is too long, I think. No, the thing is, like, I think as a group, and because we've been playing for so many years in a band, you know, you always see like a T-shirt. You know, a band has a T-shirt, and you know, it's cool, but in the end, there's like, you know, there's so much more stuff you can actually make that's you know, affordable or easy to sell and stuff like that. So we just started off like, yeah, what else can we do? Because there are so many things that we would like to make socks, and you know, we also made a skateboard. We got the hot sauce now, so it's all like, you know, it's fun. It's something different that people can buy and remember us by. So yeah, I think we still have a long list we have to check off.
I want pink shirts.
And pink shirts.
Really want
Teddy bears.
Damn it! You stole my idea.
Yeah.
How did you
I
do
saw
that?
you
You read my
thinking. I saw you
mind.
thinking that.
I was literally like, the one thing we haven't done is like, yeah, teddy bears,
Yeah.
like with like real claws or something, or like knives for claws,
Yeah.
and it's not like, it's like there's something off with the teddy bear.
Well,
That's yeah.
listen, let
Sorry.
Stole my
I don't know if y'all believe in like manifestation or the secret or whatever, but like you've just like put it out into the world. So maybe someone's listening and is equally twisted or has some crazy ideas.
We have some really dedicated fans, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it pop up on our social media, but we have this one fan who's, I mean, we love him, but absolute nutcase. He got the bear logo with the claws on his head,
Yeah.
like
Tattoo.
side of his head, like across the entire side of his head.
Yeah.
Absolute nutter.
Yeah.
And the best part is that he has a prosthetic leg, and he's come on stage with us twice now, where he's just taken off his leg and started smashing shit. Like it's like next level. I mean,
But he's the only guy that's allowed to do it.
oh yeah.
Holy shit. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we had when he said, it's like, I put a tattoo, and we were like, oh, that's cool. And he sent the image, and we were like, what? It was like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
I mean,
Also
it's
for
one of
like-
those it's one of those surreal
Sorry?
moments where you're like, wait, even I won't get that tattoo, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like the day before, I was talking by accident with the guy that tattooed this, and he said, "Oh, it's funny. I was just looking up the bear logo." I said, "Oh, yeah, I have to do a tattoo tomorrow." And so I'm like, "Yeah, the dude is joking or something." And then the next thing you know, you see this picture. It's like, what the fuck? This can't be real.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's-
Yeah,
it's-
but we all think it's really cool. And
I-
that's what's called dedication.
At this
Yeah,
point,
that's
all
crazy.
bets are off. I think I wouldn't be surprised if
No.
people.
if someone comes to us with a crazy idea, we're crazy enough to say yes,
Yeah.
probably. So
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, all I'm gonna say is, and I hope this. I don't know if this is going to happen this year, but years ago at the NH7 Weekender, they had like a tattoo section where you could get like tattoos also. And in my head, that was like the most terrible idea because the last place you want to get a tattoo is at like a music festival with like thousands of people, right? And I mean, I'm saying this from someone who has two tattoos, so I'm very particular, right, about hygiene and stuff like that. But hey, whatever works for people, right?
I feel like actually last time we were in India, we were playing around with
Yeah.
the idea of maybe getting a tattoo. I feel like this time it's written in
Yeah.
the stars. If there is a tattoo place at the festival, I think we're going to
Might
just
be,
do it.
Yeah.
You just have to do it.
It's gonna be tempting.
Yeah.
yeah,
But all right, I mean, since we're talking the festival, right? What can those expect who are coming to look forward? Because you guys are playing, and I must say, you're playing the first day of the festival on a Friday, right? And it's you guys, it's monuments, it's Arch Echo, it's I Build the Sky. It's like going to be packed, right? So what can those coming in on a Friday, a day of work, taking time off, which is including me, expect from your set? How many songs from Vanta have you all kind of figured that out as yet?
Well, I think we can already safely say that uh, people who have taken the time off the festival will need to take more time off after the festival.
Probably.
But
Well,
no, yeah,
if you have some energy left, we hope it's gone after.
yeah. Well,
seeing
there you
us.
go. Exactly. Yeah. Sorry, monuments and I Built the Sky and everyone else. No. I yeah. The set will probably be very much centered on tracks from Vanta and probably the previous record as well, Propaganda, because you know, we wanted to play those songs in India for years, and I mean, like I said, or like we said, Apollo's Heist from the previous records, we started playing that song for the first time in India, so it's going to be really special to be able to play that song now it's been released for everybody there. But yeah, no, we're actually this rehearsal. The reason why we're here today is to go through the set
For India.
For India. So yeah, we're working on something really special. We're really excited about it.
But for the rest, we keep it a secret.
For sure, for sure. Only if you show up, you'll know it, right? But
Yeah,
what one of the cool things about the festival is also the fact that, like I mentioned, you've got a metal stage, you've got other bands there. Since you guys are playing this time the festival for the first time, is there something else you're looking forward to? Uh, I don't know. Are you guys sick of watching Monuments live, unlike us here
well,
in India?
that's the thing. We have. I don't know
Yeah.
about you guys, but I haven't seen
I
Monuments
saw them
in
once, I
like
think.
10 years or
Yeah.
something. It's been a very long time. And
We
now,
once
obviously,
shared the stage on
And we shared an apartment.
Euroblast, an apartment with a guitar player. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
yeah, with the previous guitar player Ollie, they shared
But
an apartment,
like
so.
we haven't seen them with the new lineup, so it's
But I think that goes like for like a lot of bands and artists on the festival. Um, I think we're gonna like take some time to check everything out because it's easy now that everything comes together there that you can check out certain artists that you didn't have the chance when they were on tour, for instance in Europe or something, or haven't come to Europe yet.
Yeah,
So that's always a cool thing on a festival. So
yeah, and I think it's also going to be cool to be able to see those artists super far away from where we are based, or I mean, like Tangent was quite a fun one because we got to see so many different bands from different areas of the globe, um, and it was such a melting pot of different bands. But this,
but
this,
also
this
a lot of familiar faces,
Yeah.
and that's
Familiar,
like
yeah.
when we play in Europe, there's always familiar faces popping up, and in India we have like very few familiar faces to us.
yeah,
So it's going to be a different experience. Also, like you guys always you also put a mixture of Indian music and more Western music,
yeah, which I think is
which
awesome.
I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Whereas European festivals feel more like
the Western and
the Western
American bands.
mainstream
And,
You know what?
bullshit
You know what?
sometimes.
You know what it is as well is, and this is something I've mentioned before in the past, but um, in Europe we're kind of spoiled. We just have so much in the way of bands and various artists and musicians coming around. And in India, I feel like it's quite a special occasion when international bands do come over. That I do think that the level of appreciation from fans in India is something really palpable, and it creates sort of a very different dynamic and very different atmosphere as in Europe. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's something really cool to see a whole lot of bands play in front of people that have been wanting to see these bands for years. It's going to be something really special.
Okay, so No pressure, guys, but I'm getting my 6-year-old son, and he's been for one music festival before this, which wasn't that great an experience for him, but hopefully, let's see. So, no pressure. Maybe his first time seeing a metal band like you guys. But just to kind of wrap up with a couple of things, I mean, I noticed you all have one more date in France post NH7 Weekender. What's the plan in the new year, or you guys taking a break? What's to write some more stuff? At least, what can you share at this point?
Well, breaks definitely not. I think our yeah, we really really want to be focused on playing as much as we can next year. I mean, it's been long enough. We've we've been working on all this music, and like we mentioned before, the previous record we didn't get to tour as much as we'd like. Now we have two records that we want to tour a whole lot, and that's exactly what we plan to do. Really, there's not much that we can really share at this moment, but there is stuff that's being worked on. I think we also, in terms of new music, we obviously want to be pushing our new record as much as possible because we really believe in it. We really think it's the best thing we've done. But there are there is other stuff in the pipeline that will probably see the light of day at some point, whether it's next year or the year afterwards, for sure. But yeah, basically the planning right now is just tour the shit out of this record. That's basically it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys, for taking time out and speaking to me. But one good thing about signing off on this interview is I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.
Hell
Okay.
yeah!
All
Hell
right.
yeah! It's gonna be amazing. It's such a surreal feeling to be saying that. Actually, we're coming back finally after 5 years.
I still don't believe it.
Well, I get there.
You will.
well, hopefully we'll arrive in one piece and with all of our equipment. We'll see. I guess, won't we?
Yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah.
That was a really cool experience, and I'm really glad that Bear managed to take time out of their rehearsal to speak to me. Really looking forward to their set at the NH7 Weekender. For all of you tuned in and listening to this, will you be at the festival also? Let me know if you're listening to this on Spotify. I'm going to leave a question box in there if I'm going to see you at the NH7 Weekender. If you enjoyed the single that I played from Vanta, why don't you check out the album? I'm leaving the link to it in the show notes. Before I sign off, I've got one more episode with a band performing at the NH7 Weekender. To find out who it is, stay tuned to my social media. Just search for Trendcrusher, and I'll see you all in a few days. Cheers.